I'm the Kaiju no Kami with
Silver Quill.
and
Cruellica Kain.
we are going to be talking about Kamen Rider Revice, episode 11.
Yes, it is called Invincible Sakura. Power for what purpose?
And this episode was like 5 minutes long.
It certainly feels that way.
I don't know what it is. Ultraman Trigger's episodes feel like they go on forever. Revice is like, but we just started the episode. Why are we done with it already? What the hell?
Well, part of it is Trigger has all those YouTube commercials and its own Japanese commercial breaks. Trigger does not.
You mean Revice does not?
Yeah, I just double triggered.
So, this episode, I actually have to say, it threw a new monkey wrench into the whole question of, who is this family? And why are they everywhere?
And what are they doing at their home? This is beyond minimalism. It's actually negativism.
Yes, okay, so...
Well, even Sakura does that when she's just looking around like...
What?
It's like, this is not a home people live in. So, we're getting pretty far into the end of the episode.
Are you sure we're at the end? I feel like that was the beginning of the episode.
So, it starts off actually mid-battle.
Yes.
The episode starts mid-battle with Live and Revi and Vice.
And Demons.
Yeah,
And-
Demons was there for a moment.
Yeah, Demons was there for a moment. And they're fighting because, as they say in the beginning of the episode, there's been a lot more dead man activity. We then find out that but the Savior has been posting videos online empowering everyone
To support the dead man.
to stand up and fight for their right to party.
I had to say it though. I kind of would side with the Deadmans at this point.
Well, here's the thing. He's not wrong in what he says as a critique of the current culture.
Correct.
But one of the weird things about online logic is just because you point out the flaws in one group does not make the other group right by default.
Well, exactly. And that's one of the flaws, because we're seeing that. And the person who is going to be our observer into dealing with the dichotomy of both sides of it is now going to be Sakura. Because she has dealt with a friend who had to deal with this whole issue on the dead man side of doing the contract.
Her brother.
And now, well, both of her brothers, technically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with Daiji going evil.
And then, alongside that, she has been trying to fight Aguilera. And the last time she encountered her,
Got her ass whooped.
with no effort. And Sakura, through different scenes of when she's at the dojo, even in this episode, has clearly demonstrated she has the technique, the form, and the power. But she is not able to put them into fruition to be able to attack. And even with
Accidentally gets punched in the face for it.
Although I know that their teacher said, hey, check your power level.
Well, exactly, because she was coming off really strong. Like, she went at this boy, and she was like the whole level of girl power. Like, it was awesome to see, because even one of the main instructors who's part of this episode, Instructor Seiko, is a woman, which is a nice, empowering moment to see, because you don't see that a lot in martial arts, or at least on the American side. But, so that was really cool, but you feel for her, because, one, she had her eldest brother, Iki, take on the power of basically Revice. I'm just going to combine the names here. He does that. Daiji is in the military.
And he's also a Kamen Rider now.
And he's also a Kamen Rider. And I was raised an only child, acquired siblings later in life, but even with my siblings, I'm in the middle. So I've never felt that younger child experience. So, to be honest, I don't know
Well, also you're
how that
forgetting
feels.
When
Well, you're a younger child, so...
I am, the younger of two. I recall when my brother had a driver's license and I did not. There is that frustration of feeling you're the only one stuck by circumstances that don't apply to anyone else. There is that metaphorically shaking your fist at the heavens that you can't seem to exercise the same will as your sibling or your parents.
No, I think that's fair. What were you going to say, Marcus?
Well, you also have to remember,
Kaiju.
in that scene, we had a scene before that also where Ikki's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're the girl of the family. We've got this covered. I've got the powers. He's got the powers. You don't need to worry about fighting the dead mans at all."
I don't think he necessarily said you're the girl, but
Yeah.
you're the youngest.
But he was still, though, using that she's the female.
Well, the patriarchal system that's known in Japan, yes.
Well, they definitely said just stay home
Yeah.
and be safe. I too don't recall them saying you're the girl. It's implied.
Well,
it
that's
is
something
very
that is
heavily
implied.
Now, on a quick side note, the opening where we see, what is it, episode 12?
11.
11. 4 Kamen Riders in play after less than a dozen episodes. At first I thought they were going to say, wow, we really got the dead men on the run with so many Kamen Riders. Until they said, oh no, activity's been on the rise. So it's like the dead men have upped their game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like with the Savior, as I will jokingly continue to call Anonymous, except it doesn't have the Guy Fawkes mask, is definitely helping with that. Because the one thing that I really feel is like showing, even on the American side, because I related to this a lot, even as American, while cultures are very different, it's that still, that powerlessness, even with that, of you have all these people well above you making decisions for your life that you have no other control over. And there's that frustration of, well, why can't I make any voicing, or why can't I vocalize my opinion? Because it doesn't seem like you're listening. Because a really good example of that also is the assistant instructor, Seiko. You find out that she has one of the Vice stamps. And she follows Ulteka into a bank. And Sakura follows her. And Sakura is like, why are you doing this? And her response was, one, it's none of your business, which I think is a legitimate response. I think that also hit Sakura badly because it's once again another person she's trying to be there for saying, leave me alone. It's better off that you don't know. And then you find out that her son has horrible seizures. I'm assuming, by the way they're saying it, he's had so many grand mals, which is the echelon of the highest point you can get in a seizure that will practically kill you. And if he were to have another one, he may die.
Well, to be honest, I didn't find it that great a shock when it was...
No.
Because you see this little kid going, way to go, big sis! It's like, oh, you're dead.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
There's no reason to have a child cheering for you unless they're either going to get kidnapped or need a surgery.
okay. Well, okay, this is one thing I have never mentioned in my reviews just because when you're reviewing a whole series, you don't focus on it because it's not a main plot point. The healthcare system in Japan must be just as bad, if not worse, than America. Because every time you have a show where someone's got to have big surgery, it's, well, can you pay for the surgery first before we do the surgery? You're fucking doctors. You should be doing the surgery and then worrying about payment. And I hate it when they do that because it's bullshit. Don't be a doctor if you're concerned about the payment over taking care of your patient.
Well, here's the thing, Kaiju. It's not necessarily the doctors who are saying this. It's the administrative staff who may be more...
Fuck the administration.
Well, unfortunately, they're the ones enforcing and often making the rules.
And that's why I think, though, the healthcare system in Japan has got to be horrible if they have to come up with the money before. Oh, we could save this person's life, but we need you to spend the next 2 years getting the money first. They might die in 6 months, but if they live long enough, you'll be able to save up enough.
Well, for all we know, they're also leaning on a heavy trope. I mean, at least Kamen Rider doesn't have to save an orphanage before it closes. Also, Sweet Penelope is tied to the train tracks.
Well, exactly. This is the challenge sometimes when dealing with entertainment, is we don't know what has been embellished.
Plus, we're old enough, a bunch of farts, that we've seen most of the tropes.
Well, exactly.
Well, I mean, I've watched 45 Sentai series.
Oh, this would be great. Now the next Kamen Rider. Yaha, Kamen Rider. If you don't defeat me, I'll sell this kid with seizures to the orphanage. Which is built on train tracks.
And Lassie will not come to save you.
Oh, Kamen Rider Lassie. Why is this not a thing? Kamen Rider Lassie. Defying natural selection by rescuing Timmy.
I was going to say, who's in a well.
At some point, you just gotta accept that kid is too dumb to live.
I know.
All's well that ends well.
I won't miss him.
Now, for this episode, I will say that there wasn't a lot of Vice action. Like, Vice did do some funny things, but he was kind of on the back burner.
I didn't like Vice in this episode.
The one thing that I loved is when he was talking about Hollywood, and then he's saying, "I'll be back," and he has the Schwarzenegger glasses.
Oh, and when he says to Daiji, "Don't brag about it," why would I?
But I mean, I did like the scene when Vice goes to attack the monster and Revy calls him back. But there was too many of him breaking the fourth wall moments in this episode.
We've had other breaking the fourth wall where it actually served the plot.
But this one just didn't work for me.
I actually still enjoy it because the one thing that you need, especially within this series, because it's so serious and it's so mature, that Vice is like my levity and my like breathing room.
Pressure release.
Well, exactly, because you still have the seriousness. Even when he's making, like when he was doing his bad Schwarzenegger impression of "I'll be back," you had a very serious conversation going on, and he didn't detract from it.
Well, I did like when...
But he let you breathe.
Icky starts to walk away, and Vice is trying to say something, and he's getting pulled because...
Yes.
Well, his advice was, hey, talking with your inner demon can clear your head. And it's noticeable that Icky is actually playing a little bit with Vice now.
He is. The relationship between the two of them, because the one thing I feared is that when Daiji became a rider, is that it would take away from the
Vice is going to be pointless.
Yes, that Vice was just going to get regulated to the side. And I kind of felt like they were starting to do that in the beginning. And then when he kind of started making his quips and still engaging, I was like, okay, they're not, at least at this moment, not regulating Tim to the background.
So, next month, Revy gets a new upgrade form. And it's a vast improvement over the regular one. But as one person put it, based on the descriptions of the new forms, he put it that Vice gets the Pot Ranger treatment, because he's not getting a new form. Only Revy is.
No, well, meh. Although... Another note on Daiji. He's been welcomed back into the fold. Phoenix, is it? No.
Phoenix, yeah. Phoenix.
Well, he's been welcomed back into the fold rather easily, considering he, shot his co-workers. I mean, I don't know if he had to, spend some time in sensitivity training at HR, or, had to buy a whole bunch of cheese and wine baskets for everybody.
Well,
But he's basically back in the fold, no problem.
Well, if you think about it with the former commander, the one from the first episode who kind of caused a lot of this mess, he was also brought back fairly easily. And so I kind of think, because you're dealing with a dynamic that's kind of out of your control.
Yeah. Your utility is sometimes you're too important to let go, even if you've made. But with the commander, when he's trying to make his pledge, we'll stop them if it costs our lives, and George just shoves him aside. Hey, would you like to deliver this?
Well, and so now getting to the meat of the rest of the episode is that
The mother making the deal with the guys.
What animal are they mimicking?
So
An eel?
I don't know. I looked online to get a little bit better of an understanding of it, and if anybody online has any recommendations, hold on.
Do you have it up?
Yeah, because they call
That's
it
a
a
very personal
planarian.
question.
Because they call it a planarian vice stamp, but it doesn't
Planarian.
give. I don't know what they mean by planarian.
Well, here, I will employ my own cell phone.
Well, no. Suit actors. Planarian dead man.
Don't ask who plays a dead man. You'd be horrified by what you find. Planarian. Planarian is a genus of Polarians in the family Palanidae. You know how useless that definition is? Why does this always happen to me when I try to look up definitions? This sucks. No one ever gives me a straight answer.
But anyway, so it kind of looked like a jellyfish in a way. But this particular monster, even when they were fighting it earlier in the episode.
Okay.
What?
Here we go.
Planarian dead man is the first Planarian-themed monster in Kamen Rider franchise.
What does that mean?
Okay, well, here, this will clarify everything. Currently, the genus Planarian is defined as freshwater triclads with oviducts that unite to form a common oviduct without embracing the bursa copulatrix with an adiondactyl present in the male atrium. The testes occur along the whole body. Well, if
What does that mean?
So
I don't know.
So Planarian is an actual creature.
It looks like a slug to me.
Okay, so that was what I was on her vice stamp.
And we're very confused. We're very confused.
Well, no. Okay, that
Yes, I'm very confused.
I'm very confused.
After reading that, I know less than when I started.
I know a lot of words, but I don't know what they mean in their particular context.
See, before I was...
it's a flatworm.
That would have been so easy to say.
See, before I was just ignorant. Now I'm ignorant and pissed.
But anyways.
And at loss.
So yes, it's a flatworm.
Well, why did it have two faces, though?
Well, okay. So the interesting thing about this particular monster is that the actual contract holder of this monster
Is the savior guy.
and his actual name, if I can get back to it because he screwed up my thing, his name is Amahiko Haitani. And hello?
Have you heard about our new flatworm monster deal?
No, please tell me more.
Well, you see, it's an ophiclaptid with a paraboloxibus triacerad, which runs down the spinal ventricle of the left whatchamacallits.
And how does that work?
Very badly.
And what does it do for me?
Well, you see, it allows you to become a devil and have, like, tentacle porn coming out of you.
Oh my god!
So, Demon City
I hear someone expressing an interest in the background.
Okay.
Oh, well, see, he actually likes these crazy things because he actually watches some of these movies, and seeing as how he's watched like 45 of these Toku shows for Sentai, he has kind of lost his mind. That's the only reason he's interested.
He sounds like the perfect customer.
Think about it. I've watched over 100 Toku series.
No, I think at this time, I do not want to sign up for the Planarian contract, mainly because it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good deal for me.
Well, we also have our, oh god, what have I done with my life package?
See, if you had the we're all going to hell and we must die package, then maybe I would sign up for it.
Oh, sorry, we sold out of those in 2020.
Yeah, I'll have to pass. Thank you, though.
All right, please give us a call if you have any questions.
Certainly. Bye. What?
Yo, dog! I'm Vice! You just need some help! There's nothing going on here. This call is completely pointless. Yo, dog.
That was terrible.
That was really bad.
I mean,
But, okay.
I was expecting you to just hang
you
up.
had none of the passion. Yo, minasan!
So, basically, with what we were kind of going along with the whole contract, is that this poor mother, in her desperation, makes a deal not with the devil, but with her savior, and we're not going to go with the religious connotations here, so bad kaiju, don't think that. I could see it spinning in your mind.
Well, now that you've put it in my head,
You know,
But-
the Bible does foretell of false prophets.
But so she goes with this contract, taking on the form now of the planarian. And now knowing that it's a flatworm-esque creature, it makes sense because flatworms actually reproduce asexually in a way.
okay, the one thing I liked also, when she pulls out her staff and it forms,
Ooh.
and Vice is like, did she just pull her out? Isn't that her arm, a piece of her arm?
And it was so...
And you can ask that of the monster.
You find out then, after she was defeated, that that's not her demon. Anybody who has these planarian vice stamps are actually signing a contract with the Savior's demon. So I'm curious of how this is going to evolve.
My one worry is that this means we're going to have an army of the planarian monsters where they're going to be reusing the same monster many times over, like we end up getting with the same monsters in Xaid, Ghost, and Q Ranger.
Well, let's be fair. Budget is always a concern. And I'll say the evolved demon form looked pretty cool.
Well, exactly.
That I did like.
So that's the other thing that we have to keep in mind. If we do get a base of the planarian,
Hopefully, if they do contract forms.
if they do contract forms, they're going to evolve. Because, like you said, her evolved form was kick-ass. We all were like, wow, that is really cool. So I kind of feel like that could be a possibility.
And I have to say also, when they were fighting the planarian the first time, when he kept regenerating, the camera work in that fight scene was amazing.
Well, they had to do... So you had 3-on-1 battle, and even then, the planarian was holding its own.
Like when you had the camera was following it first person into the planarian, but then it like scoots around the planarian to show you the battle from behind.
Are we getting paid by the planarian here?
Yes, we are.
That was wicked awesome.
Oh, wow. Are you from Chicago? Wicked awesome.
But then so we have this, going back to the Sakura, her decision, because she got in the mail the henshin device with the vice stamp. She has no idea.
Which you called what it was.
A cobra.
Well, I saw this. I was like, "Is that a cobra?" So yes, much like the Trigger clip show, I called it. This is my white dance. This is my white dance.
I'm just disappointed she's not purple. Because all the previous Cobra riders have been purple.
Oh, don't be spectralist. Although, okay, it's however fitting that it's blue, because this has been teased out so long, and
It's blue and orange.
such a long-term, no payoff. I'm ready to call her Kamen Rider Blue Balls.
Kamen Rider Jean is supposed to be her name.
Well, I'm calling her Blue Balls until further notice because she's been teasing this out forever. Like, let me see you henshin.
Now, is it going to be Jean, or is it going to be like pronounced like the
John.
French,
Because it's yeah, I guess.
like Joan of Arc in a way?
Actually, that's what I was going to say. It's supposed to be based on Joan of Arc.
Okay.
So
Joan d'Arc in Japanese. As
she's going to avoid stakes and try to heat us her one
Well, the
weakness.
stakes are high.
So,
But
I really appreciated when she got it, and she comes walking onto the stage, so to speak, all badass, like, I'm gonna fight her.
no, but I love George. What?
Yeah, George is going to have a conniption.
So he says early on in the episode, all proud, like a peacock, with his feathers unfurled, I've made my 10 vice stamps. This is the core set. And the moment you say that, you know that Bandai gods out there are like, you're wrong. There's more.
Have another 20 Vice stands. Gotta catch them all.
Basically, it's like Billy Mays here. You can get this and all of this.
But wait, that's not all.
And so we get this, and I loved his face because he's like, wait, why are people stealing my IP? That's all I can think of.
Well, you can bet Vice will tease him about this.
Then she does, it's all badass. It's like, yeah, da 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 da, poof, poof, yeah. It was like Akito in Ultraman Trigger. Yeah, Trigger. But I just that's 2 series now we've watched today where it should just pause and go wah wah wah.
Didn't it? No, I heard that today. It was probably during Trigger. Probably heard the womp.
And then so she tries to tension twice, fails. The monster comes directly at her, and Revi, being the elder brother that he is, gets stabbed in the back, protecting her, and then pretty much episode ends. And what was so hilarious about this is all 3 of us are like, wait, what? That's it?
Kamen Rider
Well, I
Revice.
think the problem is we've been watching the episode in batches. This is the first time we've watched it since episode 1 for us 2 that we've only
for us 2. Did we?
Well, because we watched it 1 and 2 when you were here.
Did we watch 3 for us 4? How about 7 for us 9? Ah!
But anyways, it was very awkward. Now, going back, I wanted to reference 2 things. One, we saw the flashback where she's talking about what she wants to do when she grows up, and she's with 2 little boys, assumptively her elder brothers. So it kind of makes me feel like, unless they did some Deus Ex thing, Iki, even though he's been disappearing from pictures, has been there. He's not a figment of their imaginations.
That being pretty. What if he's the family's demon? And Vice is the demon of his demon.
That would be very Jerry Springer.
Jerry, do you even know who that is, people online?
But anyways, so we had that, which it was interesting because it gives you a better idea of like how their dynamic of their family looks. And second, that family. Who are they?
Oh, the other family.
Why did the brother just miraculously, or the son I mean, miraculously pop out of nowhere? He was like literally not there, and then poof. The moment she sees the Vice stamp and the henshin device, he just appears.
And to take them to the reductivist. This is a home that you see like in catalogs for
yes.
places to stay.
It's a model home.
And because there's absolutely nothing on the shelves, and the manager's like, "Is there any food in that refrigerator?" I don't think there's food in that refrigerator.
No, I don't. I don't think they actually live there.
Yeah, I actually so some of my theories is the dad was a previous user of a prototype Revice device.
Revice device.
And something went wrong, and he lost his memories or something, and that's why he's a goofball. And that family has something to do with it.
When the child.
Now, what do you think is the theory or going theory about Iki disappearing from family photos?
I haven't heard anyone talk about. I think maybe it's more. Maybe he's wiping himself out every time he transforms.
That'd be something.
Oh, wow.
The devil.
So the consequence of making a deal with your devil is that you kind of
exit the scene. Well, I haven't seen that premise since like Kamen Rider Blade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a trade-off for this grand power.
Yeah, you weigh your options.
But yeah, I'm thinking more of, because since he's clearly there in the past, maybe it's got to do with that, with his contract with Vice, or maybe that's the reason why he can actually physically see his devil when no one else can see their own devils.
Although, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the scene where Ikki tries to get Sakura to confide in him. She like throws a punch and stops just like a centimeter from his nose.
I know.
Woo!
That was, I have to say, as an acting perspective, that was incredible control by her. I can only imagine if they did that more than once, how many times she connected with his face inadvertently. Because to stop, that takes perfect control. And obviously that's a reference to her character, especially being part of the martial arts community, because you have to have immense control because you become a weapon yourself. There are no other weapons.
My fists are registered as lethal weapons.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, really, they're in the Lethal Weapons movies. Oh, the
Whatever you
fist.
say, Chuck Norris.
Hey, no, Chuck Norris, not great association anymore.
What?
I believe he's.
We'll talk about this after.
Yeah. But no, the talking with Ikki, where he says, "Yo, you confide in your big brother," but we've established that Ikki's kind of is a busybody,
And he even says he is.
and it's not really mark of pride because again, it's that whole. Oh, he'll lecture you about what you should do, but will he be there for the long haul?
Well, and that's my fear, because I really do like Ikki. Ikki is actually, he is growing on me each week as a great character because he legitimately is a good person. He doesn't, I really feel like Vice is his inner child, like what he wants to say to the world, but feels uncomfortable saying. But I like how he also cares so much about his family. No matter how horrible Daiji got, he still was like, it's my brother. I'm not going to give up on him no matter what you say.
But then he needed to actually confront, have you really, again, because of Vice, that challenging voice within saying, did you really believe in him?
Exactly.
So, again, it's that whole, how committed are you versus how much of this is empty fluff.
Well, exactly.
So you can trust your big brother. Okay, big brother, you're going to be there for her.
Well, and
to be fair, he proved he was there for her when he took a hit to the back.
Oh, so what did you think of the brontosaurus form?
I liked my idea more. It would have been way more.
I liked how when he jumped on top of Vice and he puts his arms like basically like this to form the head, and I'm like,
I'll form the head.
I was like, okay. It wasn't the worst of all the forms I've seen.
No, it's not the worst.
No, I think that was the bird.
For me, the worst is still the butt in the face.
Wasn't that the bird?
No, that was the their first one, the T-Rex.
Oh, well, I'm not eager to go back and check. Okay, I don't think I'll ever be really sold on this kind of thing. Some folks do enjoy it. More power to you. But I guess it just feels kind of uninspired that one guy is just standing really straight on top of the other. My idea where they had interlocking arms and you had to hold your feet up, that would have been so uncomfortable. And points if you can use your toes to work the jaws, because that would at least make me appreciate their yoga expertise.
No.
I think I broke Kaiju.
Yeah, it's okay, baby.
Interlock arms, assume uncomfortable position, stop sniffing there.
It will continue on because this is the gimmick for the series. You just kind of have to let it go.
I don't know.
Not necessarily, because if there's enough negative feedback on that, that will change in quarter 2.
Well, here's my thing. In a lot of the Kamen Riders I've watched with you guys, you start off with this multi-armor, multi-part gimmick, but as soon as that first upgrade form is introduced, the previous gimmicks are all but retired.
True.
Gaim is a grand example. It had how many lock seeds? But as soon as he got the lemon energy edition, the others were rendered moot. It wasn't until the final episode that they were like, oh yeah, we can...
Yeah, even in X8, every time they reached the next level, all the previous levels became obsolete.
So this buddy system may be gone by the time he gets this upgrade.
Now, I still have to say, even watching this episode, the Vice Stamp system is growing on me. It's not the best gimmick out there. I've seen far better and I've seen far worse.
Wizard's my favorite.
But I still...
Wiki.
I still enjoy it because now that I have more appreciation for it, I think my hesitation on these last few series of trying to really get into the gimmicks unless I really like it is because we've been burned by some.
Yeah, we'll invest money into these gimmicks and then the show goes downhill and we're like wait, Drive. I'm still like, why do we have all these Drive things on the collection wall?
Because I liked it.
Because the show, we never finished the show. Why
I like the expressiveness on the belt.
Same here.
Nice Drive. I actually like his angry face the most.
I know.
But Wizard, I don't regret collecting all those rings.
No, same thing with even Beast. I love that, but I also think of it as it was something that we got to do as like a friendly competition, and we got to do it together.
I forget. Didn't Beast die?
No.
Okay.
He, for a time, freed the Chimera and was liberated from the curse. Then he willingly took it on again, but then they had a cop-out.
Oh, I thought he died.
No, he wasn't one of the two.
He came close to death. The only thing I've ever regretted is that damn energy arrow, the king with the lemon energy lock seed. Because that thing got so expensive. It's like $200 for a tiny bow. And really you just want it for the lock seed.
Yes.
And when they featured that same arrow, all painted in blue, I thought, oh Lord, are they doing it again? Is this the re-arrowing? Blue Arrow, the latest DC cop-out.
But overall, I really liked this episode. I thought it was way too quick. I was like, okay.
Just want to see her transform.
Why doesn't it just be one, like, could you give it like 3 minutes longer, make it 3 minutes longer?
I've got that henshin itch.
I know, right?
Kamen Rider Blue Balls.
I liked her epicness of henshin.
And when the hell is the full-length version of the opening theme coming out? I am so sick of only hearing the minute and 20-second version. I want the whole thing.
Yeah, you are in love with this, and you know that the band who sings this is a boy band in Japan.
I don't care. Well, there's clearly a female vocals, so it can't be all a boy band.
Actually, no, I think it's all.
Actually, it's one of them. He just hasn't quite hit puberty yet.
But I don't know. But this song is freaking awesome.
Oh, actually, to be extra sure, before each concert, they gave him a good kick to make sure.
Actually, I have to
stay
say,
up there. Boom.
Actually, no.
Oh my god!
Oh, hey, so you're sounding a little gruff. Boom.
Because this opening song is actually tied with the opening song to Build as being my favorite post-Kiva opening theme.
I actually have the English and the Japanese versions of
Kiva?
Dealing with the
no,
devil?
of Builds.
Oh, Build. Oh, yes. I love the theme of Build.
Build's theme was awesome. Build's theme was like the best Neo Heisei opening theme.
In fact, I could play it right now and get this demonetized. Here we go.
No.
Yep.
I will just cut this video off before that even happens. So, click like, subscribe, bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking on. You can support us at Patreon, Kaiju no Kame, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the place that I keep forgetting about, Discord, Kaiju no Kame, Creativity by Design LLC.com. To go to the shop, you can buy some cool merch of t-shirts, water bottles, posters, notebooks, pens. We've got pens. You know you like pens. And you can just find Silver Quill at MLP Silver Quill, whatever enough on Twitter. He'll be tagged on the thing anyway.
He's ditching me. Well,
no, you can find him at MLP Silver Quill on DeviantArt, YouTube, and Twitter. And our website to buy stuff is creativitybydesignllc.com/shop. And they be great Christmas presents.
Yes, you can be the one to get great gifts.
Until next time, bye!